Melissa, thank you for agreeing to share your story. I understand this is very personal. Honestly, I'm still in shock over what's happening in my life. I never thought I'd end up in a situation like this. I was always the good girl. You know? David and I have been together since high school, and we got married right after college. 5 years ago, everything was perfect. We bought a house, we were planning to have kids, building a future together. Tell us about your marriage before all this happened. We were happy, or at least I thought we were. David is a programmer, calm, reliable. I worked in marketing. We were just your typical suburban American couple. The only problem was that we'd been trying for 2 years to have a baby. The doctors said nothing was wrong. We just needed time. But I was already starting to worry. David really wanted kids, and every month when nothing happened, I could see the disappointment in his eyes. We even started seeing specialists, doing tests. It was putting a strain on our relationship. So when did this friend come into the picture? 6 months ago. Marcus started working at David's company. They hit it off right away, common interests, video games, sports. David began inviting him over for dinners, to watch football, to play poker with friends. Marcus was the complete opposite of my husband. Tall, athletic, confident in every move. Recently divorced, no attachments, and that smile. God. When he smiled, I felt something flip inside me. Did you feel the attraction right away? I tried to deny it. I told myself I was a married woman, that I loved my husband, but every time Marcus came over, I'd get nervous like a schoolgirl. I'd choose what to wear, put on makeup for a casual night at home. And him, I don't know if he did it on purpose, but he flirted. Compliments about my cooking, glances across the table, the occasional touch when passing a plate. David noticed nothing, he was just happy to have a new friend. When did you realize things were going too far? A month ago, it was David's birthday. We had a dinner party and invited a few friends. Marcus brought an expensive bottle of whiskey as a gift. All night we were exchanging glances, and the electricity between us was almost tangible. By the end of the night, David was really drunk. The guests left, and Marcus stayed to help clean up. David barely made it to the bedroom and passed out. And there we were, alone in the kitchen. What happened next? I was washing dishes, Marcus was drying them beside me. Our hands brushed accidentally, and I felt a jolt of electricity. He looked at me, and I saw the same desire in his eyes that I felt inside. Melissa, he said quietly, we can't keep doing this. I knew exactly what he meant. The tension between us had been building for weeks. I know, I whispered. It's wrong. But instead of stepping away, we both moved closer. Then he kissed me hot, passionate, in a way David hadn't kissed me in years. I completely lost my head. And you didn't stop? No. We ended up in the living room and, God, it was like an explosion. All the pent-up desire just erupted. He was so passionate, so masculine. For the first time in a long while, I felt truly wanted. We made love right there on the couch while my husband slept upstairs. And you know the worst part? I didn't think for 1 second about contraception. My brain just switched off. And afterwards? The next morning, I woke up horrified at what I'd done. Marcus left early, we just exchanged a look. David didn't remember a thing because of his hangover and assumed Marcus had left right after the party. I swore to myself it would never happen again. But a week later, when David was away on a business trip, Marcus texted me. I can't stop thinking about you. And I invited him over. So the meetings continued? 3 more times that month. Each time I told myself it was the last, but I was like an addict. He awakened something primal in me. With him, I wasn't the good suburban wife. I was a passionate woman. And then, 2 weeks ago, I realized my period was late. Tell us about the test. I bought the test at a pharmacy in another neighborhood. Like some kind of criminal. I sat in the bathroom holding it, praying it would be negative. But when those 2 lines appeared, I just collapsed onto the floor and sobbed. David was overjoyed. "Finally," he shouted, hugging me. "We've waited so long." And all I could think was, whose baby is this? Do you have suspicions? We tried for 2 years with no success. And now, after the very first time with Marcus? Of course there's a chance it's David's but my gut says otherwise. And Marcus knows it too. When David told him the news at work, he started avoiding our house. We ran into each other a couple of times by accident, and in his eyes I saw a mix of guilt and something else. The awareness that this child might be his. How are you living with this now? It's hell. David is happier than ever buying baby clothes, setting up the nursery, telling everyone he's going to be a dad. And I wake up every morning thinking, what if the baby looks like Marcus? I go to the doctor, have ultrasounds, and everyone says the pregnancy is going great. And I wonder, is that really good? What will I say to my husband if the baby is born with Marcus's brown eyes instead of David's blue ones? Have you thought about telling the truth? Every single day. But how? Honey, remember your best friend? I slept with him. And the baby you've been waiting for might not be yours. That would destroy him. Destroy us. And then there's Marcus. He has the right to know he might be a father. But if I tell him, it will all come out. David will lose his wife, his friend, and the child he believes is his. What about your feelings for Marcus? That's what scares me most. I thought it was just physical attraction, a moment of weakness. But when I imagine carrying his child, something inside me flutters. Not just from fear, but from joy. I still love David. He's a good man, a caring husband. But with Marcus, I feel alive. And now there might be this permanent connection between us, our child. What do you plan to do? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Sometimes I think I'll wait until the baby is born and secretly do a paternity test. But what if it's confirmed? How could I live with that knowledge? Other times I think I should just tell the truth now. Let the chips fall where they may. But then I risk losing everything: my husband, my home, my stability, and the baby would be born into a broken family. Is there anything you regret? That I let it happen. I betrayed the person closest to me at the most important moment in our lives. And now this child is a living reminder of my betrayal. But you know what's scary? Part of me doesn't regret it. Because maybe, for the first time in my life, I felt real passion. And if this baby is Marcus's, he'll be part of those feelings I never had with my husband. What would you say to women in a similar situation? Stop before it's too late. I thought I was in control, that it was just harmless flirting, a little attraction. But passion is like fire: give in once, and it can burn your whole life down. And now I have to decide whether to tell the truth and destroy 3 lives, or stay silent and live with this secret forever. Either way, nothing will ever be the same. Melissa, thank you for your honesty. We hope your story helps others. I hope someone hears this and doesn't make my mistake. Because the price is too high. And it won't just be me paying it, it will be the innocent child who's about to be born.